Beautiful people, welcome back to our channel and thank you so much for joining today. Guys, let's talk about accommodation in Canada today. There is something a lot of international students don't know. I must tell you, all right, if you are looking at accommodation, comparing US and Canada, Canada is very expensive when it comes to accommodation. But is Canada worth going to? The answer, of course, is going to be yes. You know, for me, I will always say it and say it. If it's fact, I will say it. Now, but before you move to Canada, it depends on what you are going to Canada to do. Are you going as a student or you are going as a visitor? This video can help you. I want to tell you some of the things that you should do if you are moving to Canada as an international student or as a visitor. Now, if you are going as a visitor with a visitor's visa, remember, most landlords in Canada will not accept to give you accommodation if you are on a visitor's visa. The reason is simple. They are not sure if you are going to pay the next month, or they are not sure of what is going to happen. And again, remember, there is something called the social insurance number, SIN. Most landlords will want this number, you understand, before they give you accommodation. And most of the time, you will need this number to do one or two things. And the general truth is that they are scared because they don't know you are on visitor's visa or for how long will you be in the apartment. These are some of the things. So if you are moving with visitors visa, just make sure that you have money to pay for your hotel, you have money to pay for AIRBandB, and I would not even advise you to move an inch if you do not have the money to pay for your AIRBandB. You understand? If you do not have money to pay for AIRBandB, if you don't have money for hotels for at least 1 month, then do not move an inch. And another technique I will give you guys for visitors visa is, if you are going with a visitors visa to Canada, the best thing to do as of now is to try to convert that visitors visa to a study permit. But do not move an inch without an offer letter before you enter the plane to move to Canada, in case you want to apply from Canada. But remember, you still need proof of funds. Of course, you still need to show the visa officers that you have money to take care of your accommodation, right? Apply for it. Now, another thing I will tell you is that if you must move to Canada, you have to understand that weather is not the same as that of Africa or the weather back home in Africa. So you have to get ready. Money is very vital in this case. If you don't have money, don't move an inch. And if you have your visa for 5 years, why are you hurrying to move in a haste? Prepare yourself. You plan very well before you move. At least if you get your visa now, you can plan yourself for 2 years, gather more money before you move. All right. And while moving, note that you may take time to get a job. And I always recommend studies, because studies is the easiest pathway. And with studies, you are going to work 30 hours a week. Now, let's go to the other people. If you are moving with a student visa, what are you going to do? I see even my people, my own friends, when they were moving, they had to go for what they call AIRBandB, and again, others do go for hotels. But I want to say that if you have a visa to Canada, a study visa to Canada, getting AIRBandB and hotels is going to be very expensive for you. This is a technique I recently noticed. So what I will advise you to do is, if you get your visa today, go to this website, kijiji.com. all right, Kijiji, that's KIJIJI. I think, is it GI or JI? I'm going to verify, but verify as well. Kijiji.com, or go to Facebook Marketplace. Okay, it's simple. Here on Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji.com, you can get a room in an apartment to stay for maybe 3 months, 4 months, or 2 months even. Then with their prices, okay, it's possible. If you go to Kijiji, you are going to find the same thing. If you go to Facebook Marketplace, you are going to find the same thing. A room in a shared apartment, or maybe a room in a bungalow. Sometimes most of them have all the utilities, maybe your pots, everything, bed, or maybe even if you have to bring in a bed, that shouldn't be a problem, right? But you can always find this on Facebook Marketplace with their prices. Now you talk to them, but one thing I will advise you, do not pay. When you speak to these people, the owners of the houses or the rooms, just tell them that you would arrive and pay. You will pay them cash when you arrive in Canada. This is a very simple way a lot of people are using. And now with that accommodation, you can put your head, then you register in school. While you start attending lectures, you now strategize to get your own apartment. There are apartments in Canada, but you have to be ready. Remember, the province you move in now matters a lot when you are getting accommodation. Some accommodations now, to get apartment, like a 2-bedroom, that's 2 rooms, a kitchen, a toilet, and a sitting room, is going to cost you, and 2 bedrooms, I already explained, could cost you at least 1,415, right? In places like in Calgary and Vancouver, you can get it like that. But this same apartment in places like New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, you may get for maybe 1,213. So it depends on where you are going to in Canada to study in Canada. That's why I always encourage people to take a look at Atlantic region. Yes, Atlantic regions, because a house that you could pay in Calgary or Montreal for 1.5, you may get it in Atlantic region, maybe in Nova Scotia or New Brunswick for maybe 1.2. It depends on the type of house as well and the location. But guys, this is the technique you should use. Get a room in an apartment, put your head down, then you rest, then you prepare for what you can get, because of course no landlord is going to give you the house without seeing you. So even if you want to get an apartment, this is an apartment we are talking about, not a room. You need to go there to meet the owners of the apartment. So put this into consideration, and it's also going to work like in terms of your finances. You are going to save more money. But if you were maybe to go for a hotel, Airbnb is going to cost you more money. Of course, I'm just saying this because I like to minimize risks. I like to preserve stuff. That is a good country. Everybody is looking at it. So make sure you have the money to pay for all these things I'm talking about. Another thing is, remember, before you rent a house, look at the location. I will always want you, or I will advise you to take put your school into consideration when you are in Canada. Look at the location, put your school into consideration. So with the 2 months or 3 months you are living in that shared apartment, you can now take time to assess the location. Don't rush in making decisions. Rush decisions is not good. So put this into consideration. In another video, we are going to talk about something related to this Canada visa application. And I want to tell you guys that IRCC is going to bring new implementations, like new laws. One of the laws has already been passed. They will be checking all admission offer letters now. So you have to be careful with the people giving you letters. As a student in Canada, it doesn't guarantee you to get PR and citizenship. You have to put this as well in your brain. Now, I'm going to talk to those people who go to Canada or who have been asking me, Milton, should I drop school when I enter Canada? No, don't drop it. If you drop school and your chances of getting the PR or PGWP, PR and citizenship become slimmer, and before you know, you might be deported. You have to be careful with some of these things that you do. A lot of people do it. Some people say, okay, I did it and maybe I succeeded. Yes, you did it and succeeded, but you are A, you are not B. B can do it and get caught. Another thing is, I will advise you, when you go to Canada, respect the norms. If they say you are working 20 hours a week, make sure you do not exceed those hours, especially if they are going through the system. Your payment is done through the system, guys. You have to be careful, because some people will say, I did it and succeed. Now you go and work 25 hours. Maybe some weeks you work 25 hours. Before you know, when you are applying for your PR and citizenship, they will go back to those records. They will check. That's why I was telling somebody who came to me and was like, Milton, I don't want to study. I just want to use Canada, enter, and I work. No, bro. When you apply for something called study visa, when you go to Canada, you have to go to school. All right, you applied as a student. Now, if you drop the school, how do you intend to get PGWP, PR, and citizenship? How do you intend to get it? Because you use school to come in. Now, you are not going to the school. How do you intend to get it? So please always use your brain, not emotions. Don't use emotions in things like this. And remember, visa is getting so competitive now. So if you must get yours, you have to follow strict rules and regulation. This is fact, I'm telling you. A lot of people will not explain all these things to you, but this is fact. For those who ask me if Nigeria have started giving out visas or if appointments are open because of the fire outbreak, it is possible for you to apply. Guys, apply, because it is not processed in Nigeria. Your visas are not processed in Nigeria. All right, so just apply as soon as you go to the website. Of course, you are going to answer some questions. If the site has a problem, they would bring the problem down, or they will shut the site down and tell you people to wait. Everything is now digitalized, so you have to just look at the possibilities of getting what you want. If you go to the site and they say there is a problem, you wait. But if you don't find anything like that, submit your application. Be looking at it while the others will sort out the fire issue that happened in your country. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you didn't like this video, please like and share so that somebody somewhere can equally watch the video. Okay, to end this video, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that many schools in Switzerland are going to open their portals very soon. And I think admissions to Swiss universities is going to start January. Remember, if you want to apply to Switzerland, you should remember that there are cantonal universities, there are universities of applied sciences, there are equally teacher training universities, and there are federal universities. All these universities, none of them goes above 1,500. Some are below 900, some 1,250, 1,300, 800, some even. Just make sure you follow those videos. Check universities like University of Lugano, University of Bern, University of Geneva, ETS Zurich. These are some of the schools you should be checking. University of Neuchâtel, University of Freiburg. There are a lot of them in Switzerland. Check these schools and apply from January 2024 because their tuition is cheap. Now, remember, schools in Austria will equally start next year as well, and Austria tuition is very cheap as well. But before you apply to all these countries, make sure you pay attention to one thing: proof of funds. Proof of funds is very heavy in most of these countries. So I'm just here to explain to you so that you understand what you are going to be doing at the end of the day. Then another thing you should remember is that the process of getting visa to Malta has changed. You are going to watch a full video on my YouTube channel. And again, remember, visas to Lithuania now, not visas anyway, residence permits or permits to Switzerland, to Lithuania are gotten from Dubai, Lebanon, or Jordan. So you are not going again to Egypt. For those who didn't know, maybe from January next year things will change. So I'm going to be updating you depending on what is available. And again, do not forget that proof of funds is very important. There are very low tuition countries in Europe, but the issue is you need to show that you have money to study in these countries, and I'm going to be explaining a lot of things to you guys. I hope this helps you.